Hi there, my name is Roger Heater. Welcome to my video. Do you have someone in your family that's like flipping out? Like say maybe a little brother, a son, maybe even your man, the man in your life that's just like flipping out over anything. Knocking furniture around, throwing things, breaking things, grabbing you, spitting at you, cussing. And you're looking at this child or grown man, and they're flipping over the littlest things. Anything upsets them. And you're thinking, that is such a small thing for someone to flip out that bad. What on earth is wrong with this person? Well, I'm here to tell you, it could be intermittent explosive disorder. IED is an anger disorder that takes away your control over aggressive impulses, which usually result in destruction of property or physically hurting someone else. I've lived with IED for 4 decades. I'm going to tell you a quick, little piece of my story. I started out with temper tantrums at age 2. By 4, they were worse. I was banging my head on the floor where my mom would have to come over and grab me and hold me until I calmed down. She said that she would look in my eyes and just see dark. It was like no one was there. And she was very scared because as I got older, these temper tantrums turned into rage attacks. I was flipping out, flipping furniture over. It got to where by the time I was 11 years old, they had to hold me down by sitting on top of me. And they would literally sit on top of me until I tired out and fell asleep. So I'm very familiar with this illness, but I wasn't familiar with it until age 34. Okay, so what happened to me was I was put in the California system. I was made a ward of the court at age 12. I was shuffled around from mental institutions to psychiatric hospitals for 4.5 years. Tried on different medications like you wouldn't believe. And I was locked in little rooms the size of a janitor's closet. No doorknob on the inside. Little window on the door size of a VHS videotape. And left in these rooms for hours at a time. Then by age 16, my rage got so bad, I needed pot to keep me mellow. And I didn't have any one day. My mom, who didn't know anything about pot, was calling friends to find it just to calm me down. That's how scared she was. I ended up flipping out so bad that day that I ran out of the house. I ended up taking out 32 car windshields with a baseball bat. This was at 16. I was stuck in a psychiatric hospital after that, where they upped me on medications, basically turned me into a zombie sitting in a corner of a room. And when I would start to get irate, they'd wrap me in sheets from head to toe. So from your neck all the way down to your ankles, you'd be wrapped in sheets, which to this day I'm now claustrophobic. I can't sleep with sheets on me, and basically lived a pretty sad institutional life. I was put in a place called Devereaux. In the 70s, they would put kids my age in with people as old as 70. So here I was 13 years old in there with older people with all kinds of disfigurements, from arms to missing a leg to disfigured mouths, speech impediments, everything. And that's pretty freaky for a kid my age. I'm walking in there and people are going, hi, who are you? And this is an adult in your face. You couldn't tell a counselor from a patient. And so it was really freaky. It was an experience that I'll never forget. But like I said earlier, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 34. And this was after 3 failed marriages and 2 returns to psychiatric hospitals as an adult, that a doctor finally came up to me and told me I had intermittent explosive disorder. And I'll tell you something, I was happy and I was relieved, mostly because I knew now there's a problem. There is something wrong. I was very abusive to my wife. I'd flip out so bad that I only weighed probably 148 pounds, and I could take my wife and lift her off the floor with my hands and by her neck while her feet were dangling. And I thought I was an abusive man. I just thought, man, what's wrong with me, man? I'm an abusive man. I'm wife beater. But it wasn't. It was an illness, and when I got a grip on the illness and started learning about it, I started to work hard to do something about it. In 2006, a Harvard professor by the name of Ronald Kessler did a research, and they discovered that IED affects hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And it's almost as popular as bipolar. So it's a crazy illness. And there's a lot of research. I'm going to do it in sections with you, but I just want to introduce this part to you. And then I'm going to continue in segments, like maybe every 3 or 4 days, to start telling you things. You can get a hold of me. If any of this sounds familiar to you, feel free to get a hold of me on my own website, which is temperyouranger.com. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again.